Hello there, this is Matt, and in this video I'm going to show you that if you improve your grammar, you can also improve your website or your business information. I have many students who have businesses and have websites, and sometimes just with a quick check of the grammar, we can greatly improve the content and the message of a website. So today we're looking at some information, very useful information that I've found on a website on the internet, but this information could be made much clearer with just, I'm guessing, a 10-minute grammar check. And today, what I really would like to focus on is looking at articles and looking at plural, singular nouns and verbs and making sure that the subject and the verb agree with each other. So let's begin. Difference is a singular countable noun. So I would say the difference between virus, worm, and Trojan. So I know which difference, so I use the, and it can be any virus, any worm, and any Trojan horse. They are all singular countable nouns. They're a series of nouns. So I can put the indefinite article in front of the first noun, and I don't need to put them in for the other nouns because I have a series of nouns together. Okay, so now we look at the first classification of virus. So virus is fine as a heading, but when we begin our explanation, we should say a virus. It's singular and it's a noun. A virus is a computer program or software. So we might say or type of software. Normally, I'll leave that though, or type of software that a virus, connects itself to another. Now, software's starting to sound strange, so I'll put in another software application or type of software or computer program to harm computer systems. So I stop here and I think once again, that is a singular countable noun. And that's what English speakers will be looking for. So which computer system? The computer system that is damaged by the virus. When the computer program runs attached with virus, so that sounds not quite right. When the computer program runs attached with the virus, this time we know which virus we're talking about. So I'll say the. I could say a, but we've already mentioned virus before. Another thing here, this is a dependent clause, and here it finishes. So I'm going to put a comma in here. This is a complex sentence, and this is the first clause. So comma, and we're talking about the computer program, so it performs. Once again, here's my subject, here's my verb. They have to match. It performs some actions. Now, some is plural, so the noun must also be plural. Some actions, such as deleting a file from the computer system. Virus can't be controlled by remote. So once again, any virus can't be controlled remotely. A virus, we are writing, and it's on your website, so you want it to look professional. So I would say cannot be controlled. Instead of saying by remote, I'm going to use the adverb. I'm going to say cannot be controlled remotely. All right, and I'm going to copy that in case I need to use it later on. All right. Okay, so that's our first group here that we're looking at. And the next one is worms. So we've got virus, we've got Trojan horse. They're singular, singular, and the heading is singular. So I'm going to change this to worm. We're not talking about worms in the garden. So I'll make that a worm. And once again, it's a singular noun. So a worm is also a computer program like. Now, like is not the best grammar, so it should be such as, but I'm going to leave it because people can understand it. It doesn't affect communication. Like a virus, but it does not modify the program. Now we have the end of the sentence and the sentence starts. So it replicates. Now see, the grammar checker is also helping me there. It replicates itself more and more to slow down the computer system. So this time he or she has done well. They've got the computer system. But let's make the sentence structure better. It replicates itself more and more to cause the computer system to slow down. So to cause the computer system to slow down. Okay. Now the sentence order is just reading much better. What does it cause? Or what does it affect or modify? It changes something about the computer system. So we'll put the object as close to the verb as we can. To cause the computer system to slow down. Worms can be controlled by remote. So I said before, I will just make this an adverb, remotely. Okay, remotely. It replicates itself more and more to cause the computer system to slow down. Worms can be controlled remotely. If I want to keep everything very consistent, I will say a worm. Doesn't really matter too much, but let's try and keep everything the same. A worm can be controlled remotely. Okay, very good. Now, Trojan horse. All right, so once again, it's a singular noun. A Trojan horse. Now, the horse doesn't really need a capital letter, but as Trojan is an adjective describing from Troy originally, we keep the capital letter in this adjective. A Trojan horse does not replicate itself. So it does not replicate itself like a virus. Now, they may not be both together, so it's better to say or, like a virus, or we can say a worm, or we can say a worm. I'm going this time, because there's only two and it's not really a series, I'm going to say like a virus or a worm. It is a hidden piece of code which it steals. So it steals the important information of who? Of the user. We know who the user is. They're the user of this computer, so we put in a definite article. For example, Trojan horse software. So Trojan horse software. So let's just say the Trojan horse, because that's what we're talking about and we know it's software. The Trojan horse software observes. I think it does more than observes, it copies and steals. So it's still it's still one piece or type of software, observes, copies, and can steal or steals the email ID and password while, now who are we talking about? While the user enters in web browser for logging. So enters in a web browser, and not for logging. So why do they enter into the web browser? Enters in a web browser or into? Enters in a web browser. Well, the user enters in a web browser in order to log in. Okay, and there we go. Fantastic. I think that was just under 10 minutes or about 10 minutes. We have checked all of the grammar in the website, and now it's much improved, and so it will read better. And the people who are judging your website will have a better, stronger opinion, and that means they're more likely to stay on your page, and you're more likely to attract more people to your website as well. So I hope this helps everyone, and I hope it helps you to start thinking about checking your own websites as well. Okay, all the best of luck with checking your own website.